Hey everybody. Well, I know I'm late to the game here with this particular figure, but my Batman was supposed to arrive in December. It kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed, and here we are, first week of February, and it's finally arrived. Let me just start by saying that this is one of Hot Toys' best figures, and if you're a Batman fan, this has to be added to your collection. There are plenty of great reviews on YouTube that have already been done for this deluxe set, and I really feel I don't have anything new to add that hasn't been said already. So instead, I want to do something different today. I want to highlight all of the actors who've had the honor to portray Batman on the big screen and then compare them to the Hot Toy figure that was made in their likeness to see if they got it right. Adam West was the first actor who catapulted Batman from the pages of the comic books and onto the screen, making him an international icon. Decades later, Hot Toys was the company that finally captured Adam West's likeness perfectly. Yes, he's wearing trunks, and he doesn't have body armor with perfectly molded pecs and the six pack abs, but that was the Batman of the 60s. And Hot Toys nailed it here. Looking at them side by side quickly, you can barely tell which one is Adam West and which one is the 1/6 scale representation of him. This is a figure I'm so happy that I own because I know the Hot Toys version is very hard to come by now. The dynamic duo will never leave my collection. After the 60s, the character of Batman was not seen as a bankable on screen character for about 2 decades. That is until this guy and a very unique director came along and changed the game. At the time, Michael Keaton may have not been everyone's first option to play Batman and Bruce Wayne, but decades later, when you ask people, they will tell you that Michael Keaton is their favorite actor who has portrayed Batman. Tim Burton's Batman and Batman Returns have withstood the test of time. And Hot Toys has given us great 1/6 scale representations of Batman from both of the movies. The only issues I have with these figures is that the capes are awful. But thankfully, custom capes make a big difference. I know Hot Toys is going to have a 2.0 version of the 89 Batman, but the 92 Batman is a pricey grail. These are really good figures, and if Keaton is your guy, you gotta have them both. I prefer Batman Returns over the first movie, but the studio and McDonald's did not. So they reshuffled the deck, got a new director, and a new Batman. Val Kilmer went from being Iceman to Batman. Batman Forever went for a different style where everything was colorful and shiny. Kilmer wore two bat suits in the movie, and Hot Toys chose to do a figure based on the sonar suit from the film's finale. And visually, they nailed it. But this figure lacks any stable posability because of the thick rubberish suit. To avoid any permanent creasing or tears, both Batman and Robin will remain forever in a museum pose in my display. So, because of a cinematic mistake that occurred in 1997, the studio put Batman to sleep for about 8 years, and when he awoke, we were blessed with Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale. Just like Tim Burton's films did over a decade earlier, the Dark Knight trilogy raised the bar and became the benchmark for Batman on the big screen. Batman is now a goldmine for Hot Toys, and they have released plenty of versions of the character from the trilogy. And even more have been announced long after Bale has hung up his cape. The Batman Begins figure has always been a hard one to get right because of the stiff rubber suit. But the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises figures are much better because of the design and flexibility. It makes it much more posable. The improvements Hot Toys has made with the second variation of Batman's costume is some of their best work yet, and it captures Christian Bale perfectly, especially the head sculpts. Though he did not actually wear the cowl on the big screen, when Kevin Conroy spoke, he made you believe he was Batman, and he deserves to be on this list. Conroy did the voice of Batman and Bruce Wayne on the animated series, as well as the Arkham video games, which were a huge success. Hot Toys actually released a few figures for their 1/6 scale video game line, And the Arkham City version is definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, it suffers from the same stiff rubber suit thing that the Batman Begins and the Batman Forever figures have, but it looks so damn cool and menacing just standing straight. Unfortunately, we lost the great Kevin Conroy last year, but he left behind an amazing legacy of work, and he will always remain to be one of the great Batmen. Warner Brothers wanted a part of that MCU box office, and thus the DCU was born, with Zack Schneider taking the reins and Ben Affleck as Batman. People hate on the DCU, but I actually like the films that Schneider himself directed. The Schneider Cut Justice League is an amazing film. Give a shout out in the comments if you also agree that you like the Schneider Cut of Justice League. The tactical suit Batman from Hot Toys is definitely one of the best figures from the DCU line, and it's so detailed that it dominates the other Justice League members, especially when you place them all together. Robert Patterson is the latest actor to wear the cowl of the Dark Knight, and in my opinion, he has raised the bar. His performance as Batman and Bruce Wayne was so good that I pity the next actor who has to follow in his footsteps and play Batman. Hot Toys has created a masterpiece with this 1/6 scale figure. The likeness is so on point that you will believe that they actually shrunk down Robert Pattinson. The details on his costume are literally flawless, and the articulation of the figure makes this a photographer's dream for poses. And just look at this head sculpt. That is 100% Robert Pattinson. You have to see it in hand. Here are all the actors replicated in 1/6 scale form by Hot Toys that have portrayed the Batman for the past 50 plus years. It's an exclusive club, but it's always looking for new members. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to the channel so I can get more great content out to you. I'm going to close this video with some photo poses I did with the Batman figure. Enjoy and have an amazing day.